We'll record you. And for those of you that didn't know, we do have an on-demand library, so we record our classes from time to time to keep that on-demand library fresh. Welcome, my friends. Come into a comfortable, typically seated position, remembering that you do not have to sit this way. You could sit in a chair, you could come into child's pose, lay on your back, whatever feels good to you, but find a place where you can look for a little bit of stillness. Take a breath or two. And just check in and ask yourself, how am I feeling? How am I feeling? Are there any areas in my body that I want to take a moment and just honor? Maybe I'm feeling a little sore, a little tight, a little uncomfortable. Physically, mentally, it could be emotionally. There's a variety of things that we could be feeling. So just taking a moment to check in and notice all of those sensations that you may be feeling. Maybe you're feeling the best you felt in a long time, and that is awesome. Right? I don't open this expecting you to not feel good, right? If you are feeling great, take a moment, be in gratitude of that, thankfulness. Sit with it, because things change, right? Sometimes we feel better than other times. Sometimes our mind, our thoughts, our emotions are heavy. Sometimes they're light. But as you check in, and if you notice that you're not feeling your best, or you're not feeling where you wish you were feeling, whether it's like physically, emotionally, mentally, take a moment and see if there's some of that you can release. So if something's weighing heavy on you, can you acknowledge it within you? And can you give yourself permission to release it? Even with physical things in the body, so maybe you have some physical sensation or physical heaviness or something that doesn't feel super great. Right? We might not be able to completely release what we might call pain, but sometimes if we can just notice it without judging it, it doesn't feel quite so intense. So just being kind of like, oh, yeah, my shoulder's doing its little wonky thing again. You know, whatever. I'm going to choose to focus on my right foot instead, because my right foot feels great. And there may be a little back and forth, because the shoulder may say, hey, no, wait, look at me. And you say, yeah, I know you're there. It's okay. I'm going to bring my energy where I feel good. Body's a pretty amazing thing. We can tune in to the places of joy and bring more happiness into our body. We can tune into the places that feel at ease and feel more at ease. So that's what I invite you to do here. You've checked in. You can choose to focus on the things that feel good, that bring you joy and light. It doesn't mean that everything is perfect, right? It means this is what I'm choosing to put my energy into. With that, I invite you to bring the palms of your hands together, lifting your thumbs to your heart. and take a moment right here in self-love, self-kindness, self-appreciation. Give yourself some compliments. Treat yourself like somebody you care about. And when you're ready, gently bow your chin down towards your chest. Take a moment to flutter your eyes open, adjusting to the light. Release the hands and gaze up. Welcome, everyone. So we're going to start with a forward fold, just to begin to loosen through the calves, the hamstrings, before we take it a little deeper into the feet. So just extending the legs out in front of you. Now you can set up on pillows. You can also do one leg at a time. If you're a little tighter, it might feel nice to bring one leg in and lean out over. And I'll give you, a guideline. I'll say, okay, switch to the other leg. If you're good with both legs extending, relax the shoulders down. Just lead with the chest, maybe a little bit of a lean. This is where you could use a strap around your feet, but you don't have to reach your feet at all. Just think about gently flexing the feet back towards you. I also like to oftentimes grab pillows or blankets, lay them on my lap. As I fold forward, I have a little bit more support. This brings more ease through my torso. Just remembering that the purpose here isn't to try to get as deep into a stretch as you can. It's to find the place where the stretch feels good, where you want to be. Just hang out there. We hold poses a while in here. Give the body time. You take a little movement through your neck. Some small movements, a little shifting through your torso. It's okay. Do what feels good to you. And maybe you find that place where it feels just right. And you choose to have some stillness there. And try to be present in this moment. Notice your breath. Feel the sensations in your body. Notice any sounds or smells without necessarily interacting with them, just noticing what's there. Allow your thoughts to come and go. You're observing them like a bystander. A bystand. It's not a right word, is it? Like a bystand. Someone standing by. Here we go. It wasn't working for me tonight. Without judgment. That's the key there, without judgment. Now in this position, we'll just gently start to point our feet. You don't have to overly point them. You're just gently taking from that flex position to a point position. Feel that stretch come a little more into the top of the shins and the ankles. Now, if you want that a little more intense and you can reach your feet, you can gently place your hands on top of your feet. Or the other thing I sometimes do is take a pillow and lay the pillow on top of my feet. And I can stay in this forward fold, or I can even set up more if I like. Just kind of feel a gentle stretch through the top of the foot. And we're going to take all this a little deeper in a moment, but you'll have the option to also stay right here. So if this feels really good to you, maybe a pillow or a blanket laying on the feet or just gently pointing the feet down, feel free to stay here. If you'd like to take the stretch through the top of the feet a little deeper, what we'll do is come onto our shins, placing the tops of the feet onto the ground, into this kneeling position, and then gently leaning back and maybe lifting one shin off the ground. Maybe lifting two, maybe switching them out. Just kind of playing around with that, maybe alternating. Just a breath or two and then alternate to the other shin lifting. You're getting a little bit of that movement. Or maybe lifting both and lowering both. And so no fast movement, but maybe a little bit of slow. Back and forth. Working a little mobility through the top of the foot, into the ankle. And just continuing. Sometimes we do this where we just hold. And if you do have your feet pointing with the pillow on top, you can simply be holding. But just playing around with a little movement tonight. A few more breaths. And then we'll gently come off. Pause for a moment. Oh, roll one ankle. Just enjoy that movement. And then roll the other ankle. Right at first, right, it can feel really stiff when you start to roll it. So go slowly, go easily. And if your legs were out long and you were pointing them, this is still where you need to kind of stop pointing them, roll your ankles. Maybe just windshield wiper the ankles a little bit. That movement. And then we'll bring that more into the bottom of the foot stretch. So again, I'm going to give you some options. So if some of you've done this before, so you know right away, you're like, oh, I'm not going into angry toe. So when I show you, if it doesn't feel comfortable to you, what you can do is take one foot and just kind of work on the flexing of the foot, pulling the toes back. And just feel that flex there. If you're good with, go ahead and coming on over, curling the toes under, all 10 toes, and gently setting some weight back onto the heels. So if you come here and you're like, oh, that's more than I want, then I want you just to kind of move your foot, manipulate your foot around like I just showed you. And I'll show you again in just a moment. Or you can stay here. Or if you want a little bit deeper stretch, right, you can bring those hands up onto the quads. Letting your full body weight be down into the heels, toes curled under, getting a deep stretch all the way through the base of the foot. And stay here as long as you like. Bring your hands back onto the ground when you're ready. Or again, at any time, just alternating side to side a few times. Maybe coming here and here. And just maybe even kind of placing the heels on the ground. You can work both feet at the same time here, using the palm of the hand to just press back into the toes. So we're just stretching through the bottom of the foot. So this is kind of the same action happening in the foot without the pressure of the body weight, using just our hands. Oh, and wherever you are, take a few more breaths. So if you were in release and restore, we really focused on the shins, the calves. So I'm going to make sure to get some of that in here, and then we'll have time to move on up through more parts of the legs. And then from here, just gently let yourself come onto your forearms. And again, you can just wiggle your toes, roll your ankles for a few seconds, releasing. Nice. We'll go ahead and come on down to our back. If you prefer not to come onto your back, you don't have to. We're going to do a reclining butterfly to get in through our inner thighs. If you'd like to do that seated instead, you can. Bottoms of the heels together, pulling the heels in towards you, folding forward, or reclining on down to your back, which will make this even more, kind of relaxing if you enjoy being on your back. You let your knees fall out away from each other, bottoms of the feet together. And just letting gravity apply a little pressure into the inner thighs. You can also always take a blanket or pillow, slide it underneath your outer thigh for a little more support. You can also roll a towel or a blanket under your low back if this position causes your back to arch, doesn't feel good. You can do this seated, or you could take a straddle stretch, seated. Do have options. But I chose this one because I thought it might be nice to just kind of recline and lay on your back after all of that kind of intense ankle stretching. Just soften around your eyes. Maybe a little wiggle of your jaw, releasing any tension that might be there. Invite your awareness into your breath. Notice your inhale and your exhale. Follow the breath in. Follow the breath out. Noticing the expansion through the torso with the inhale. Allowing that release with the exhale. Feel the earth, the floor beneath you. Whether you're lying down or sitting. Notice the air on your skin. And then from here, we're just going to gently lift the right leg. So the right leg that's open into the butterfly, lifted so the right foot comes onto the floor and the right knee faces the ceiling. Now, if you're seated, it's going to be a little bit different. You can come onto your side. And what you're going to do if you're seated is you can grab your left, or I'll show you. It'll be easier to show you than tell you. So if you're laying down, what we're going to do from here is take that right leg and then reach it over as if we're coming into a spinal twist. So we're going to reach the right leg long over the left. So I'll turn this little angle, reach the leg over. And then with the right hand, reach for the left foot, gently kind of pulling the left heel in towards the glute. So this is cat pulling tail. If this doesn't feel good to you, don't worry, I'm going to give you some options here. So this is cat pulling tail, right leg is causing us into the spinal twist, and then right hand connects with the left foot. If that doesn't feel good to you, you can simply lay on your right side and pull left heel to left glute into a typical heel to glute stretch. Or you can play around with that cat pulling tail, which just adds a twist into that. So it gets us this twist through our torso because our chest is open, our shoulders are on the floor basically. And then we reach the right hand to the left foot. Now your left hand can just kind of lay out to the side, or it can gently place on the right thigh to pull the right inner thigh towards the ground, deepening that twist. Now you don't have to hold on to any parts of your body. Your hands can simply be out to the side. And you can still be in this twisted cat pulling tail position without actually binding it. And you can simply be in a spinal twist also. Maybe you bind for a little while, and then you just decide, this is yin and unwind. So you decide to release the bind, maybe stay in the twist. A little extra softness to the posture. Take a nice inhale in, and as you exhale, gently let the release come through the mouth. A little extra sigh. Feel that release of the body. See if you can hold on. Relaxed state. Slowly, just kind of make our way back onto our back. Or if you were never on your back, right, you can just kind of come out of that side. Pause for a moment, situate. And then this time we'll let the right leg fall out as if it were coming into butterfly. Right? And the left leg reaches out and over, spinal twist. Of course, you can stay here, or left hand reaches for the right foot. Gently pulling it back and the heel in. Maybe the right hand pulls down on the left outer thigh a little. Really binding your cat pulling tail. Or just on your left, lay on the left side of the body, pull the right heel into the glute. Or just enjoy a spinal twist. All great poses, all doing wonderful things in your body. Cat pulling tail just puts the two together. What we don't want to do is bring tension into our body. So if any pose doesn't feel like you can relax in it, you can always take one of the alternatives that I offer. But you can also come into any stretch that feels good to you. And maybe you simply choose to just lie here. Just breathe and rest, which is very important posture. If you're bound, you can stay bound, or maybe you decide to release the bind. And stretch feel a little easier. Scan through your body just to see if there's any places that you're bringing added tension into. Shrug. Just check in. No more breaths. Gently come back onto your back. Just slowly move our way into Shavasana. Again, if you're choosing not to lie down tonight, feel free to come into any comfortable position that you choose, maybe seated, maybe reclining into a chair. If you are on your back, take a moment, reach your arms one way, reach your feet the other for a nice full long body stretch. If you're seated, you can just kind of full body stretch as much as you can, maybe reaching the arms overhead or out to the side. You can always create a little reclined place for you by stacking a bunch of blankets and pillows. If lying flat on your back doesn't work. If you are good on your back, we'll allow our arms to release at our sides, maybe grab a blanket or pillow to make ourselves more comfortable. You can be seated, reclining, whatever feels best to you. We've got a couple of minutes officially together. Allow the body to completely rest. Invite yourself to surrender into this time and space right here, right now. Just letting time stand still. Notice the stillness of your body. The softness of your breath. As we come to the official end of our time together, As always, I invite you to stay here as long as you like. Whenever you are ready to move, give yourself permission to not be in a hurry. I'm going to log out, and when I do, it's going to log you out, so you don't have to worry about getting to your computer quickly. Give yourself the gift of another minute or two to take your time. Om Shanti, my friends. Peace.